Domination.
People play good money for that. But no, it's so good to finally meet you, and your energy is even better than
We had fun.
we did. We did. We actually, someone came up, they were really excited about your Princess Maurice question that you answered. So I asked him, I said, okay, if you were a Disney princess, who would your sidekick be, and what would they be voiced as? And you said, a rat terrier voiced by Danny DeVito.
There you go.
It was good. And we talked for quite a long time about not only princesses, but also what you would do, you would think if you weren't voice acting, also some of your passions, and a lot about your...
Used to call to me at one point. Is this connected?
Is it?
You can barely hit this.
Tell you what, you use this one.
No. I will fix it. Check this week.
Stage crew work is never done.
Is it like a 3D?
Oh, everybody's up. Red. Up. Green. You made a right proper surprise entrance, didn't you?
Hello.
You smooth talking son of a gun. Yes.
All I can say about this lovely group is Nerve. Nice to meet you. And you're all sitting here in front of you, within the range of our, sort of spittle. You all have monkeypox. Surprise! Nice to see everybody.
Where are you? Where are you, my friend?
You got a plane at like 10 o'clock last night?
10 o'clock last night, and spent 2 hours in Minneapolis. 2 hours too many.
Oh,
Actually, you know what? That's the cleanest airport I've
it's
ever
gorgeous.
been in my life.
Minneapolis is beautiful.
I got, and they have a,
I was gonna let you guys just go.
Oh, no, honey. We want
Yeah, keep it with us.
You class up the joint.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just start by
Yes,
saying,
you are.
hello, nerd.
You're not just pink, you're pinky. And you have a brain. Yes.
You nailed it.
The beauty and the brains.
Did you make this?
I made my magical girl staff that is not with me right now.
Wow.
So I can fight people
A
out.
magical girl staff.
Okay.
It's usually part of some sort of surgical.
You find a lot of
Yeah.
magical girls throwing themselves at you? Or?
Actually, yeah.
Wow.
You gotta fight them off a little bit. More people like,
Yeah.
can I take a
Well, thank you so much for having us, and I think I mentioned it to you down on the floor, but thank you for taking so much time with Mo and me on your interviews. It was very sweet of you.
No, you guys were amazing. So if you guys haven't watched it, go check them out. They're at the Hall of Fame City Comic Con website. These two, you guys took so much time. You woke up early in the morning on Saturday.
Early in the morning.
Yeah.
What do you do with a drunken brainy? What do you do? And we almost stayed.
Come to me, so well.
Well, I was at Ottawa Comic Con actually.
Yes.
And so yeah, it was good, but it was lovely to be able to you have a wonderful way with your questions are so original.
Isn't that true?
And you have the greatest laugh. So
Okay.
it was wonderful, just
Well,
wonderful.
look.
Worth waking up for.
Yeah, we're going
In the
to.
most wholesome possible way. Because I'm an old gray-haired guy.
That's right.
So everything's wholesome.
We're just this side of creepy. Honestly, and it's the dead truth. We are very fortunate for many reasons, but we do have the great good pleasure of being interviewed a lot. And there really is a difference. If you are working with somebody who is very nice, very lovely, but it is a real, it takes a real professional to handle it the way you did. You not only make us very comfortable, your questions are spot on.
Yeah,
but
and you know the show.
You know the show.
You know the shows. You know
Yeah,
the
you
work.
know what you're talking about,
That's
and
it,
it's
that's the
a big. There's a big difference between
You're
just
funny.
being asked questions and a pro. So thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Great job.
I wrote it up on that, so I had to have something.
Fair enough. Well, so go ahead, this is you.
Well, I was just gonna say, you guys make it easy, because not only are you just fantastic to people, like everyone in this room, where we just look up to you guys so much, but your
Well,
work.
we're a little bit higher. So.
Well, we try to get you to wear the platform heels, I get it. You didn't wanna,
I got mine in my room, honey, don't touch me.
but you make it, your work is
Not
so...
anymore. It's not getting there.
Not anymore, oh, sorry.
No.
Yes.
But your work is so engaging and you mean so much to people. So when we're able to meet face to face with you and talk about, ways that you were inspired for your characters and what you're doing now, it's really interesting, and it's great that you allow us into your lives in that way.
It's you who allow us.
Exactly.
I mean, we are so lucky to be these, two 90s actor knuckleheads. Who,
Almost 90 years old.
Yeah, now we're almost 90 years old. That's my Foster. It doesn't touch yours. It is the best Foster Brooks impression ever. I know there are people in this audience who remember Foster Brooks. Best drunk act in the world. Because he played a guy who thought he was fooling you into thinking he wasn't.
I'm not as thick as you drunk I am.
Yeah.
I only had 2 martinis. You'll get it on the way home and you'll laugh.
I've never been able to nail that voice. I've tried since I tried to do a Foster Brooks impression in high school.
Did you really?
Yeah, the high school variety.
Well, that's one.
If you go into the yearbook, I'm in mid, you see the variety show, and I'm in mid Foster Brooks impression. But I've never, that catch that he has in his voice.
I just love the brain. Oh, the brain.
The brain. Well, I think I just got it.
Good for you.
Like Tyler, I'm just
I
absorbed
think you
his
just got
superpowers.
it because I gave you the monkey box. All right. I don't know. You poor people. Anyway, say what you're saying because it's true.
I don't remember.
It was about how lucky you
Flew through the night.
are.
My ADD is on steroids right now.
What my friend the brain was saying, with which I utterly concur. Is
Oh,
that,
how lucky we were.
yeah,
Yes.
we,
We're a pair of knuckleheads in 1992. In 1992, and we get called in for this show, and we were lucky enough to be on Tiny Toons, which was also a terrific experience. Thank you. Here we were going to take the lead in a major kind of chunk of the show, especially this guy who got to play both Yakko and Pinky, and we had no idea what it would become. But if you'd asked us, you think you're going to still be doing these characters in 27 years? You think people are going to remember? We go, the show's good, and proud of it, but probably like the 400 other shows that we've each done, they might fall into obscurity. But no, not Animaniacs, not Pinky and the Brain, and we are so very lucky that you let us into your homes, into your consciousness, and in your hearts. And now you'll never get rid of us because I'm
Joey.
Did you break it, Ray? Wait, you might have tapped it because it's sensitive. See if you gotta be gentle with her. See if it's green for go.
Wait, it's got a battery and it vibrates. What is wrong with that? I don't know why. Oh, there you go.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. I just love doing that whenever I get a mic.
Jim Jones just stopped being Darth Vader. You heard about that? And they're getting the AI. They've got AI that's going to recreate the voice. And
Let's call him.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Stop touching me.
Anyway, what? Yeah. It's all true.
Jim Jones.
James
Let's call him James Earl Jones.
James
Jim Jones had a certain Kool-Aid recipe that nobody ever wants to recreate.
I'll tell you what, I saw Jim Jones on Broadway and he killed. We're shot.
It's out.
Somebody didn't pay the fries bill.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and his voice is going to be done by an AI.
AI thing, yeah, and.
But they still need an actor to read the lines, and then the AI will follow. It's like a Rich Little program.
Yeah,
right?
I know, and I've always been a little concerned about that because of the technology. On the one hand, I'm very impressed with it. On the other hand, I want a gig. However, I remember when electronic, like Mo's son is a brilliant musician, and when electronic music instruments started coming out, there was, especially drum machines, there was always a cool bumper sticker that went around in the sort of late 70s, early 80s, that drum machines have no soul. And it's true. I know that this is many years later, the technology is incredible, but I still hope and believe that there's something that an actor puts into it on the spur of the moment that I don't know, even though there's a logarithm.
But I think they still need an actor to read the lines.
Read lines.
And then they modify that.
On the other hand, I'm old.
No, but I don't think they're at the point now where they can just type the dialogue, hit send, and it comes out with emotion. It's still that, I think I don't know if they'll ever get to the point where, because I don't think the computer has timing. Timing, dramatic timing, comedic timing.
Plus, we don't have hot girls want to interview except for a computer. I mean, we are just rambling, but do you have any particular questions, or you want to open it up to those folks?
We can open it up to you guys.
Or do you just want to hear us ramble for?
Yeah. We got a small enough room where we don't really need a mic, I don't think, unless you want to.
I mean, it gives
Okay.
me something to do, and I
Go
get
ahead.
to.
All right, and as you walk around, it'll.
What's your name, darling?
Hello.
Hello.
I think I met you before, Rob, in Cleveland.
You think?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good. Okay, because if you don't remember, then we got a problem. I'm a lot older than you, and I remember.
I have two things. What is each of your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie?
Uh-huh.
Honestly, well, I know for my son it would definitely be Lion King. For me, it's Bambi, without question. And
There you go.
I've had the pleasure of meeting a gentleman who's now probably 90, who's the voice of Bambi and still shows up for some reason.
Wow.
And that movie was not only a remarkable thing as a child, but when I watch it now, all the animation is all done by hand. And when the leaves float down to the forest floor, it's utterly magical. And every time that Bambi screams, "Mother!" I just... So, yeah, it's remarkable. That's mine. What about yours?
Well, Pinocchio was the very first, not only the first animated movie I ever saw, it was the very first movie I ever saw.
Really?
My mother and my grandmother took me, they said, we're going to take you to a special place, and you're going to see something that you've never seen before, but you have to be very quiet through the whole thing. And I'm totally ignoring that, Rob, because I'm telling a wholesome story from my childhood.
I just don't know how to change feet.
And so so the wonder of seeing that and seeing a gigantic moving drawing was phenomenal. But I think my favorite Disney movie is Frozen because
Eve Ragnar?
because the Czechs.
Yeah.
No, not for that reason. Because I think the message is very
the king.
important. I did play
Yeah.
their father in the first one.
Why didn't you play him in the second one?
You have to ask the people.
Because he seems like less of a jerk if you played him again in the second one.
Well, one would think.
I don't know. It was not, it didn't come my way that time. But Alfred Molina is a very fine actor, and I think he probably did a great job with it. I didn't see it because my feelings were still hurt. But the message of the first one was, let it go. That's the point of all psychotherapy. If everybody can just let go of all the, anything you're hanging on to that's causing you pain or keeping you in fear, so I think that's the greatest message. So that's my favorite.
I think one of
And
my
the check's
favorites
still
is
clear.
Snow White.
Snow White, excellent choice. No, it's pretty hard when you're talking about all these classic films to pick a wrong one.
Sorry, I've got one more thing. Are you still doing your Talkin' Tunes podcast, Rob?
I am not, and only because I thank you for asking. It's very sweet of you. And by the way, this is my lucky charm. It's magically
He's always
delicious.
after his lucky charm. Because I'm magically delicious.
That's right. When I started doing my podcast, it was an utter labor of love, and I did it on my own. And the first guest I had was Maurice LaMarche. When we changed and did it as a live event at the John Lovitz Comedy Club in Universal City, Mo was first. When I did it at the Improv in Hollywood, Mo was first. And then when it became a live action on-camera thing over at Nerdist, same thing. But it was an absolute
That way,
joy.
if it fails, he knows he can blame me.
That's right. I think most of them are available on Spotify and maybe Apple Podcasts.
Podcasting still.
Yes, and then there are a lot of really great clips on YouTube.
The reason I ask is because I would love you and Maurice to reenact the SpongeBob episode, Pizza Delivery.
Oh, sure.
Where you could play Pinky as SpongeBob and For the Brain as Squidward. And Man Boy from Powerpuff Girls as the angry customer, and Dr. Scratch the Sniff as Mr. Krabs.
Why not?
And Yosemite Sam as the trucker.
Which episode is this pizza?
You know, I wish that you were a little more thorough in your description of what you'd like. I'm a little, it's a little ambiguous.
I'll give you the list when I get to meet you later.
I believe you
I
100%.
think we got a new season.
Thank you. You are
Thank you. You're very nice, both of
You're
you.
very lovely. Thank you, madam. Look at that great brain.
What's the last emotion? Where's back is yours?
What's the last emotion there?
Oh,
Nice, perfect. Hello, sir.
yes.
Oh,
Hi, nice to see you
You
again.
seem to have a little bit of me on your shirt there, my friend.
Yes. Narf.
Yes, Narf indeed. Narf to the world.
my question is, when did you first meet?
When did we first meet? Oh my gosh.
We first met on the New Adventures
Yeah,
of Johnny Quest.
In the mid-'80s.
Was the very first time we worked.
Thank you. Yes, I
I just thought,
was
who's this firecracker guy who's got all these quick jokes? He's so facile and brilliant. And then the next thing we did was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And we started
Great
doing
name.
Monty Python sketches
Woo!
with each other in between takes.
We did.
You know, yeah, we love British comedy, especially British comedy in the 70s and the 60s. And we have a particular affinity for Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, and especially their underground tapes, the Derek and Clive tapes. So we really bonded over our humor. And then as life went on and life threw us some curveballs, we found we could be there for each other.
We sure were. That's the gosh dang truth. I love this man with my soul.
I love this man with
It's-
a giant pencil.
It bears repeating because, well, look, many of you are you're all so sweet, but the overarching, the overarching takeaway is that all of you often say, after the fact, when we meet you again, you say, oh my God, you guys, you are so nice. Well, we had no reason not to be. We are so profoundly grateful. And what's important to tell you guys is that the people who do this, and in particular my brother, Maurice, are like this in real life. A couple of years ago, I had a little tap dance with cancer. I'm fine. But I'll tell you what, Mo came in to visit me during my chemo treatments he would say, hey, Robbie, I'm in the neighborhood. Bullshit. He knew where I was and what was going on, and came up without anybody asking, and the amount of joy that was delivered throughout the chemo ward, because
we just sat there. I mean, he was hooked up, but we sat there and people came up to us. Once word got out that Pinky and the Brain
They
were
found out.
We're in the chemo ward. The nurses were coming up, fellow patients were coming up, and we just, and my whole thing was, I just got to keep him smiling.
He did.
Keep him laughing, because it's big stuff. But I knew they were going to get it. I knew he was going to beat it. But one of the things is a positive attitude, and humor is such a huge part of it. So
Yeah.
I went and visited my pinky,
Yeah.
and I left the giant pencil at home,
Yeah.
and just decided to make him laugh.
It was lovely, but anyway,
Yes.
no, he's the best.
I had a really running with college.
That's
You
right.
weren't cancerous, but you talked me off the ledge.
Oh, it's
I thought
scary,
my career was
right?
over.
Yeah.
I had vocal cord polyps, but we got it taken care of with laser surgery.
And
But he was on the
sounds
phone with me
better
every
now.
night. You're gonna be fine, buddy. You're gonna be fine.
And but then I said, but if you aren't, can I have your stuff? Hi.
Hi, I've got a question for both of you guys.
Good.
So recently, you have been working on the Animaniacs reboot on Hulu,
Yes.
and you worked with some of the same people from the original, Mr. Spielberg and Randy Rogel, Jess and Tress.
Yes.
But I just wondered, you worked with those people from the original. Some of the original people did not come back, like Sherry or Paul or Tom. I know Tom wanted to do it. The studio said no.
Right.
But I just wondered was there a difference there without having some of the same writers, but still having some of your same cast members? Did it feel like the old days? Did it feel like going back home, or did it feel like a totally different experience?
There, that's your parole
Yeah.
officer.
Sorry about that. Different, of course. It would have to feel different. There was a whole other crew, writers behind it. And initially, did I not go in going, "Aye," and those were the very sounds I made. "Aye." I just walked around every day going, "Aye." No, but with the first, with the first reading, the first time we got in the studio and read the script, you realized these people had the goods.
Yeah.
I can't weigh in one way or the other about any issue about whether, obviously we would have loved to get the entire band back together, and why it wasn't done is not anything I can weigh in on. But Wells and Wild brought an entirely appropriate 2020 sensibility to the show, as did the young kids. They're all Harvard. They stole a page from The Simpsons, and they recruited Harvard Lampoon people, the kind of brilliant writers that Matt Groening and crew have been having on their show. It's the smartest writing in television are from these brilliant Harvard people. And so the shows are as smart. There's a bit more of an edge. It's 2020, and the world's been Rick and Morty, and so we never swear, but Brain is not above using a death ray. Enough with the mind control plans. Damn it, I'm blowing up a city. But it never succeeds, so it's okay. It's still harmless. You can only get behind a mean character, a villain character, if they're harmless. Archie Bunker was harmless, and so therefore you let him into your heart and watch him grow, by the way. And I think Brain has grown.
And you have a great T-shirt that says, "Kill them all, let God sort them out."
Yes.
No, your question is a very valid one, certainly. But Mo pretty much said it all. However, when we were all together, I remember looking at Tress and saying, "Oh my gosh, this is like we never left this," and it's such a profound thing. And
We really did pick up where we left.
yeah, it was amazing. But this is a microcosm of what we experience every time we go to a place, is to see the extent to which not only the characters connect with people, but it utterly transcends generations, which really means you've got something. Bugs is 80. We could all watch Kill the Wabbit, Kill the Wabbit, Dusty and Wabbit and Fire!
And do.
And do. And Mo and I are closer to the end than the beginning, but the cool thing is knowing that.
Why'd you have to say
I know.
that?
I'm just a big turd in a punch bowl. But it's really something to see. Look at this family right here, and there are people my age who have grandkids, and they all watch these shows. It is such a profoundly humbling experience to see this and to know that we've been part of it. Nobody gets the kind of shot that we got to do it again with the King of Hollywood. And by the way, forgive me, but really quickly, you mentioned that about Frozen with respect to why didn't Maurice, okay? Mr.
Let it
Spielberg.
go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
I will, but when this was being talked about, it was Mr. Spielberg who said, if we do this, we're doing it with Yakko, Wacko, and Dot and Pinky the Brain and the original actors. Don't even start giving me, as Maurice says, Peter Dinklage as the Brain and Russell Brand as Pinky. Not gonna happen. And it was Steven who made that call, because he knows what you all know, that the characters are authentic. And the reason they transcend generations is because they're well performed and well written. We don't draw them and we don't write them. But that's why you never bet against Mr. Spielberg. So thank you for your question. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Abby. Hey, I was born tonight, but not last night, okay?
I have a question about the Animaniacs reboot. Is there going to be season 3?
Yes, we're working on it now. You will get a season 3. I don't know, probably around the same time they drop the other seasons. Probably
Yeah, the thing is that
Thanksgiving-ish.
well, a lot of you are obviously older than Abby, but the things on the streaming services don't behave like network television. It doesn't, the fall season is coming up. When you go back to school, you get to watch all new episodes of your favorite shows. Now it's very arbitrary. When Hulu or Netflix has a series, they put it on when it works for their logarithms, algorithms rather. And so when you ask people at the streaming services, wait, when's it coming out? I don't know. How many, we're gonna do more? I don't know, we did 13. Yeah, we're gonna do 15. It just, you never know. So, do you have Hulu, sweetie? Okay, well, make sure you ask your big sister sitting next to you. Oh, there's no way you're home. But yes, there's definitely one coming up.
And you keep an eye on the TV and I'll wink at you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
But
Are you going to be in the new Futurama?
Mo is. I'm not in that, but Mo is. Maurice won 2 back-to-back primetime Emmys for his work in Futurama.
And this guy right here won an Emmy for Pinky. Pinky in the Brain. And William got no Emmy. Why he wants to take over the world.
Yeah. No, but Maurice, please, Futurama away. Mo's the guy.
Yeah, I'm even wearing my Planet Express bowling
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah, he's got his Futurama t-shirt. Isn't that great?
Yeah, we're working on new Futurama right now. In fact, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, going home, going to bed, waking up on Monday morning to do a 10 a.m. session for Futurama. So we are in the midst of making 20 new episodes. Again, from Hulu. Watch it a lot. Stream it when you're sleeping. Down, I don't know. Just because we want those algorithms to produce 40 more episodes. So yeah, just stream you know what. And I will say this: talk about not missing a beat. And this is a show where yes, we honor the time that's gone by, but the writing is as sharp, as brilliant, as layered as ever it has been in any previous season, from our original 1999 premiere to the last time we rebooted it. The show is brilliant. The original writers, we have a brand new crop of brilliant writers. You're gonna love New Futurama.
It's really good. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, look, it's a Ghostbuster.
Now that's a reboot we gotta work on.
Okay, I just want to hear Maurice do the impression of that newscaster from Futurama.
I'm sorry. My mind was on Ghostbusters. I'm like, I might have played one of 160 episodes. But no, you mean Morbo the newscaster. Tonight's forecast:
Doom! Kittens give more gas. I may destroy you. You're telling me to say I will destroy you. I may destroy you, I may not. We have a day to get through. But maybe at the end of the day, I will destroy you!
Oh my God. I get paid for doing this. Hi.
Hi. I have a question for Paul. Before I
Paul Robeson. It's okay, I've been called much worse, trust me.
before I give my question, I want to say thank you, both of you, for coming to Ohio. We really love it. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
My question for you is, what was it like working with Steve Odekirk?
Oh, great. I'm a Thumb Wars and Thumbtanic and Bat Thumb and Thumb Enchanted Evening. Great. Steve is a remarkably gifted writer. He wrote Patch Adams and he wrote Ace Ventura and Major Calls and yeah, he's Kung Pao, which he starred. No, he's great. He's got a giant home. It looks like the Hotel California. But did you like those wacky Thumb movies?
Yes, the Bombs and Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't forget about Carl. Please don't forget to finish your croissant. Thank you, buddy.
Now then, who's next?
Hi.
Hi. Actually, I saw you at Fan Expo Cleveland.
Was I a jerk?
You were very nice.
Oh, thank
You
God.
said I was.
You said you were what?
You said I looked a little blue.
Well,
Yeah, well, you're a little blue and your best lays.
I was dressed as Sally for Christmas.
you look great.
I have a question for both of you. From the old Pinky and the Brain versus the new reboot, what are the biggest character changes that you've noticed?
Well,
You kind of referenced it earlier.
yeah, I referenced it a little bit earlier. I think Brain is edgier. I think he's a little meaner, a little bit less patient. He's willing to go to greater lengths to achieve his goals. That's really the main difference in Brain's character.
More edgy.
And edgy, and yet next season will be the side of him we've heretofore not seen. That he has a romantic side. So, but you have to wait till next season.
It's adorable. Honestly, I don't think there were a whole bunch of different changes for Pinky. Pinky's got to sing quite a bit, which I love.
I wanna dance, dance, dance until my limbs fall off. I wanna dance.
It's so much fun. But I don't particularly feel like there's been. I'm still. Pinky is still a profoundly. I think, at his pink little heart, kind, utterly believes that Brain is doing the right thing, adores the Brain because he really thinks it's best for the world, and I love that character. You know, it's a love story. I mean, these guys really do appreciate each other, and I think I can speak. Hello. The $5 seats are now going for $1.50. So, I think both of our favorite episodes so far of Pinky and the Brain is the Christmas episode from many years ago, because it really illustrates the importance of this relationship and how much Brain ultimately says, I love this guy, no matter how many times he screws up. So that's kind of the name of that tune.
I will say this though, I have noticed in the way they've written
I have
the
more
show-
nose hair.
No. But yes. Do you see a difference? Is there something you're picking up on?
There could be. It's difficult for me to be objective.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, who else am I supposed to take it out on?
Yeah.
Just the ampersand? I mean, it's
Right.
Pinky
And
and the
the
Brain.
Brain, no.
I can't beat up the ampersand. It doesn't technically exist. It's just a concept. But
Not too worried, dear. I can take a
I'll tell you what I have noticed with Pinky's character at least in what I've watched, that there's a slight hint that he's not quite as dumb as we think he is.
Thank you. That's true.
That's the difference. We're beginning to reveal that maybe something else is operating. Maybe he's the genius and brains. So,
Really?
Yes.
Thank you for your question. That's very sweet of you.
We have time for a couple more questions. Hey,
Pressure's
Kitty.
on you now, kiddo.
Hi guys, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Is
Yes.
this your wife / girlfriend, lady?
Fiance, soon to
Oh
be.
my God,
Nice.
your hair.
Congratulations.
Good gracious. My friend, and you really, I mean, you're a fine looking young man, but you hit the lottery, dude.
Have to remind me.
Of course, do you know the actress Cree Summer?
Yeah, I heard, yeah. She did
You-
number 5 for Kids Next Door. That's how
That's
I
right.
really know
Oh,
her.
yeah.
She's part of those dang kids next door.
And you
Make
could
the
be
place
her-
smell like a poop museum.
You could be her little sister. She has the same do, and she's beautiful like you. Just you look, your hair is utterly stunning. Really, I look like a human Q-tip. Anyway, forgive me, and congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you
What
so
is
much.
your question, sir?
You guys were kind of leading up to it. As far as voice acting and doing the singing, what do you find harder? Or is it about the same to, get both your lines, or is the music seem to be harder for singing?
I don't find any of it hard, and that's not because I'm extra talented.
Trained singer here, rock and roller.
Well, I was a
He was
singer
the
before
best.
anything.
He was the best rock and roll singer in all of Flint.
All of Flint.
Read his book, you know what that means and what it inspired him to. But
All of Flint. But remember, nobody forces anybody to be in show business. This is a choice. So anytime I get to do anything for which people will pay me, it's not hard. Some are more challenging than others, depending on where it is in my vocal range. And I lost a couple of the higher notes after cancer. I had throat cancer. But the hard is work in construction. Hard is, work in construction in Canton in February. Being a farmer is hard. Being a teacher, although it's a calling, is very tough. When you're an actor, the hardest part is getting the gig. Once you've got the job, you're living your dream. But then when you really truly win the lottery, like Mo and I have, and we get to go around the country and come to Canton and hear the most wonderful, incredible, humbling comments from you folks, that has nothing to do with money, ratings, action figures. It is all about a pure expression of collective joy. And that is what we do it for. And that's the dead truth. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
singing is much harder for me. To answer your question.
What's this story?
No, I can't.
You can't do it?
All right. Neocortex frontal lobe. Hippocampus neural node, right hemisphere. Pons and cortex visual.
Brainstem!
Cillian Fisher pineal, left hemisphere. Cerebellum left, cerebellum right. Synapse hypothalamus, striatum dendrite.
How about that?
Listen, thank you, but it's no United States, Canada, Mexico.
All right, we have time for
Music just doesn't come as easily to me, so I have to work twice as hard to achieve half the result as my talented friend. But I can not so much carry a tune as drag it kicking and screaming. But I can pull it off.
You've got great pitch. You and Tress both undersell yourself with
No.
respect to your singing. Very good.
Thank you. I did it again with a lot of work.
Plus, he grew up speaking Canadian, which is very difficult because they asked him English.
Let it go, let it go,
There we go.
We have time for one more
I'm so
question.
sorry. I could do this all day.
And I feel bad because I've been hitting everybody up in the front row, so I'm going to the back.
Good for you.
Cat Noir.
You guys are so patient. Thank you.
Meow.
Before I ask this question, I want to let you guys know that the Animaniacs, those cartoons have made so much, mean so much to me. They make me want to make people laugh and smile every day. Even if it's making a fool of myself by dancing in a Walmart aisle.
You know what?
That's the greatest gift you can give anybody is to be willing to put yourself out there to bring a smile and a laugh. That's all we're here for, is to make each other's lives better.
Exactly.
You know, and only the sociopath and the narcissist sees it another way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not naming any particular sociopaths or narcissists. I'm just saying that without that mental disorder, this is what we're supposed to do. Be outwardly directed.
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful thing that you're saying, and to just do something to make somebody else's life a little bit better in some way is the most fantastic thing a person can do with their day.
You figured it out at a young age. You get it. Well done, Ray.
But my question is, what made you two want to make people laugh and joy? You two made me want to bring people joy. What made you want to bring people joy?
Oh gosh, well, you were stand-up.
I mean, I was a stand-up comic.
From like his teens.
You know, I hate to say it, it comes from a place of pain, but it does. My upbringing as a small child wasn't terribly happy. My parents divorced, and my mother seemed to be perpetually angry. And I knew that if I was making somebody laugh, they weren't angry at me, because I had a lot of anger directed at me as a child. So my initial impetus to be funny was selfish. I was trying to protect myself. But then gradually, especially as I begin to do these kind of things, people give me feedback that I mean, I can't tell you how many times we hear the story of you know, somebody comes up to us and said they had a bad day. They had a plan, an exit plan, and they were going to execute it, and they put on the show. And the show made them laugh, and that laugh took them out of going through with the plan. And they're here today, and they've made a good life, and they're so glad. I'm not saying we are heroes or anything like that, but the power of laughter, the power of that has made me just be more and more determined to make sure that I'm bringing that. I'm bringing the funny. So that was my original impetus was a protection mechanism, but then I began to see it as almost a holy mission.
I didn't have anything but a really lovely childhood. My parents were married for 54 years. I grew up in Grand Blanc, Michigan, but it doesn't take you long to figure out that if you like making people laugh, I'm sure you feel the same way. Doesn't it feel great when somebody laughs at something you do? It's a remarkable feeling. It's chemical, and it truly is. But if I'm going to be jonesing for something, I'd be happily jonesing to make people laugh. It doesn't take you long when the pretty girl or the handsome boy pays more attention to you because you're funny. Although I have to say that as a kid, it was like, oh man, see this girl I'm really crazy for, and she'd say, I'm so glad we're friends, you're so funny.
Friend zone.
Yeah, well, I'd like to show something I'm pretty damn proud of, it's funny, but however, that whole experience never gets old. It is like air to me. Music and joy and humor are air to me. When I get to do it with Maurice at these events, it is an utter privilege. And because we've been lucky enough, we're at a perfect spot in our careers. We're old enough to have a legacy of characters that appeal to young folks here and people older than I. And then we're young enough to be able to fly to Canton overnight and fly back right away and go to work, because we can't not do this. This means so much to us, you guys.
I wouldn't say I'm young enough for that. I did it. I can't guarantee that I won't be crawling into LA studios. I haven't got a voice.
But it's a huge deal. And the fact is that we go home from every one of these events, thanks to all of you, utterly exhausted from saying thank you. Are you kidding me?
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
so thank you very much.
laugh. Here's
Okay,
a
go ahead,
question.
fire away.
All right.
Why does a duck have feathers on its butt?
Why does a duck have feathers on its butt?
Yes.
Because he likes being called Fluffy Butt.
No, it's to cover his butt quack.
How fantastic. That's the one they'll be telling at the water cooler.
Well done. Good for you.
It's a
Oh, my
clean
goodness.
joke, too. I love it.
Oh, that was, you're just, all of you are so lovely. Thank you very much. Bless your heart. Look at you.
You're getting in your steps.
Got in my steps, I got in my kneeling, I got in my knees, like I'm
Good for
feeling
you.
good. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much. Let's give it up again for Maurice.
Thanks, folks. We love you.
We're gonna go have a quick little lunch in Toledo. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna have a quick little lunch, and we'll be back at our tables in just a very short
A little
time.
bit of time. Thanks,
so
you
please come
guys.
say hello. You don't have to buy
Very
anything.
grateful to
Just
be
say
here.
hi.